Punishing America. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Now, you've seen the video from the sidewalks of New York to apartment buildings in a Denver suburb, and you know that the sheer number of migrants dumped into Springfield, Ohio, has caused chaos there. Cities and towns across the United States have been thrown into turmoil, all because of the intentional decision by Biden and Harris to throw open our borders. And, of course, also import almost, 1 million more foreigners through executive fiat. And now another target, the small town of Sylacauga, Alabama.
There is a fear here of becoming the next Springfield, Ohio. You know, when is enough enough? When do they start, when do they stop coming in? How many are there going to be? There's no answers. We have none. We just do not have the adequate resources to handle an influx of migrants. It's going to take away from resources that are already struggling here.
But we know our borders are. She doesn't care. Sylacauga is Trump country. They aren't fans of DEI programs. They don't believe much in gender fluidity. And they do respect and support law enforcement. And we know what Harris thinks of people like that.
America has a long history of systemic racism.
If that's really what she thinks of the country, and it is, then of course it makes sense that she allowed 10 million non-racist migrants to come here with nothing more than just given a piece of paper and a notice to appear years from now. And the message to native-born Americans, it's essentially, you're the past, they're the future, you don't deserve what you have, so learn to live with less. It's all a form of punishment. Residents say they're being treated like trespassers in their own hometown.
It's against my human right to be trampled on and to have my economy and my housing prices skyrocket because of federal housing vouchers are going to raise the cost of housing in my city due to the influx of migrants.
But this is the Democrats' plan. Overwhelm America and punish our middle class and our elderly.
I have a right to say what's going on in my town, and I hate my tax money keeps being spent in this kind of way, because there's no way these people are paying their own rent, paid their way over here, or any of this other. My money is doing it, and I am tired of it.
Now pay attention, America. It's not just Aurora, it's not just Springfield or places in New York City. It's Sylacauga. This is a flood of humanity, with all of the problems it brings. And it will be at your doorstep soon. Take Charleroi, Pennsylvania. It's nestled in the far southwestern part of the state. That's a town of only about 4,200 or so residents, 95% white. It's overwhelmingly Republican. Now its budget is buckling, though, under the weight of a huge number of Haitian migrants. According to CBS News, the majority of students in the local school district who need assistance learning English are from Haiti. The district has spent $400,000 in ELL teachers and an interpreter. Well, as usual, the little people, they get run over by the elites because the Democrats don't care, even about their most loyal constituents who are being affected by this. Now, according to WGN Radio in Chicago, Chicago public school teachers, whose schools are located predominantly in black neighborhoods, were instructed by administrators to give their migrant students a 70% passing grade in every subject, even if the migrants displayed severe academic deficiencies. Oh, that really helps the migrants. Not. And instead of holding Biden and Harris accountable, all this stuff happening, what our press does is let it all slide. Now, you remember back in March when the media jumped all over Texas for pushing back that gang of migrants that rushed the border in El Paso?
Look at what the Republicans are doing to you. Look what Donald Trump's doing to you. So, yes, there is an onslaught in the southern border still. And it's all Donald Trump's fault.
And only now we're told that those lovely newcomers that Joe Scarborough was defending there, they're yearning to be free, all right, free to terrorize Americans, because about 100 or so of them were from the vicious Venezuela gang Tren de Aragua. Yeah, Meanwhile, Republicans in Congress, they're demanding answers.
What information do we have on the millions of known gotaways that have entered this country?
None.
Zero information of millions of people, some of which have found to be on the terror watch list. We have zero information.
Correct.
Well, we know what one of them did because he was just taken into ICE custody. 28-year-old Salvadoran national Brian Daniel Aldana Arvelo is accused of raping a child in the island community of Nantucket, Massachusetts, where, by the way, crime is, or was, virtually non-existent. A liberal judge there had actually released him in late July after his arrest. But in Kamala's world, criminals, they're allowed to walk right into the country, foreigners paroled into the country by the hundreds of thousands, as Americans are punished. In fact, the Biden-Harris administration kind of tried to cover it all up.
In San Diego, we had an exponential increase in significant interest aliens. I was told I could not release any information on this increase in SIAs or mention any of the arrests. The administration was trying to convince the public there was no threat at the border.
And no threat. It's all well. And with apologies to Pope Francis, this is not about compassion for the migrants or for the children.
Recruiters would go around within Tijuana and recruit teenage women. They would leave their families behind, come to the United States, claim they were unaccompanied minors, and they would be put up in the facilities that the charities had set aside for them in San Diego. These young women were then brought up and forced into prostitution, oftentimes in the Oakland and Los Angeles area and other places within the country.
Women and children being trafficked. Kamala Harris doesn't care. Turns out Harris and her gang, they're not punishing Americans with their border policy. They're also punishing migrant children as well, and women. So don't think those poor kids who are trafficked or forced to do sex work, do we think any of them are feeling all that Kamala and Tim joy right now? Americans, though, I think are waking up. Voters in the border state of Nevada are turning toward Trump. Kudos to CBS for actually covering this.
What issue is most important to you?
I'm extremely concerned about the border.
Illegals, they gotta go.
People are coming here seeking asylum.
Baloney. They're coming here for the freebies.
There are people who have come here legally. Why do they get pushed aside to allow people who have not even worked one day in our country?
This is why Kamala Harris needs to make this race about everything but the issues, and why the voters overwhelmingly believe Trump is the only candidate who can stop this migrant invasion.
In the next 2 weeks, I'm going to Springfield and I'm going to Aurora. I'm going to be known as your border president. And Kamala will be known as your invasion president. We're going to take those violent people and we're going to ship them back to their country. And if they come back in, they're going to pay a hell of a price.
We know what she did to America, and we know why she did it, and why Mayorkas and Biden did it as well. And more voters every day see the vindictiveness of the Democrats' plan. Resettle as many foreigners into the country, especially in conservative districts, as fast as possible. Punish the residents, change the electorate, reward the donors with cheap labor. Then guarantee a Democrat supermajority for generations. That's not pure joy. It's just plain evil. And that's The Angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.